Hello all and welcome to the channel. In this video you will learn the necessary steps that need to be taken one by one and the key aspects to pay attention to, as well as what to focus on in order to start earning money by trading DeFi tokens and maintain consistent trading in the long run. I recommend watching this video until the end. There will be a lot of useful insights. Enjoy watching. If you are already subscribed to my social networks, YouTube channel, Telegram, then you know that I try to regularly provide useful information on trading DeFi tokens, and all the information is progressively increasing in complexity. Especially on YouTube, I've organized everything so you can access the initial videos and gradually learn all the information, that is, immerse yourself specifically in the trading of DeFi tokens. But even though a lot of information is already provided, beginners, when they enter this field, see some cosmic X's, someone making money there, they usually have no understanding of where to start at all, what to look for when analyzing tokens, how to buy them in general, how to sell them, and so on. In general, in short, novice individuals frequently become perplexed and do not comprehend how to proceed further, what steps to take and what actions to perform in order to initiate earning in this particular direction. So let's break it down step by step. I will lay out a step-by-step action plan for you so that you don't have any confusion in your mind and so that you can achieve results in this direction as quickly as possible. So look, the first step is where you should start. First and foremost, it's important for you to learn the basics of crypto, meaning to learn how to buy, sell cryptocurrency, and also get acquainted with decentralized exchanges and wallets. The primary decentralized exchanges are Uniswap and PancakeSwap. Additionally, the primary decentralized wallet that you will require while operating in DeFi is MetaMask. I have already talked about these platforms in my video on my YouTube channel. If you haven't seen it yet, make sure to check it out. Once you have already built a strong foundation, know how to buy and sell cryptocurrency, understand decentralized exchanges, and have set up a decentralized wallet, the next step is precisely to search for tokens at an early stage, meaning you should learn how to find tokens that appear as early as possible. Why is it important to be able to locate tokens either prior to listing, prior to their commencement of trading, or within the initial minutes of trading? Because if you locate a token at an early stage, you have the opportunity to analyze, conduct research, and acquire the token from the most secure entry point. Usually these are the initial minutes, the initial corrections, and it will be easier for you to profit in the future. Familiarize yourself with X's and you will gain an edge over individuals who will be participating at a much later time. And in order to find tokens at an early stage, there are many different platforms. The main ones are DexTool and DexScreener. I also discussed them on my YouTube channel, so you can locate that video and view it as well. After you have learned how to find tokens in the first minutes or before trading starts, it is important to understand how not to buy scam tokens. There are a lot of scams, especially on the Binance Smart Chain network. There are fewer in the Ethereum network, and I won't even mention other networks. I recommend trading on the main networks, either Binance Smart Chain or Ethereum, but ideally, of course, Ethereum. Why? Because there is significantly less scam in Ethereum and significantly more liquidity there. Therefore, I suggest that you select this network for trading. Additionally, I have provided an explanation on my YouTube channel regarding how to avoid purchasing scams. Again, you can find videos and watch them. We won't stop there now. The next step, after learning not to buy blatant scams as well as clever scams, which is also important, is to learn how to do a step-by-step analysis of tokens, a detailed analysis, to understand which tokens will bring profit and which tokens are better to avoid. In reality, there are numerous nuances involved in token analysis, and to be concise, my advice is to carefully consider and acquire tokens exclusively when there is a genuine product or innovative idea backing them up. Why? Because the more work is done on the token, if developers have spent, for example, a month on developing a product and utility of some kind, it is not profitable for them to rug pull their token in the first hours. And as a general rule, you can anticipate local growth, which is precisely where you can generate your profits. Yes, certainly such tokens do not generate enormous rapid profits. As you have observed, for instance, numerous meme coins experience a meteoric rise of 100x, 500x in only a few hours on occasion. You probably will not see this in utility tokens, but at least in the initial stages, you will not lose your deposit as rapidly as you would with meme coins, which tend to have a higher risk of depreciation and volatility. And in the long term, if you learn to analyze tokens, you will learn to identify names. Thoroughly research tokens and you'll understand analysis nuances, then you'll be able to trade profitably in the long run, which of course is the most important aspect. Hence, if we imply meme coins are more unpredictable and beginners frequently end up losing money while chasing after these incredible gains associated with meme coins. So I recommend that you increase your trades with security projects in order to gain more experience and insight, and gradually increase your deposit. After you learn how to conduct a detailed analysis of the project and, for example, analyze the token, understand that you want to buy it, it is important to learn how to choose the right entry point so that your position relative to other holders is as advantageous as possible, so that you can maximize profit in case of growth and in case of loss. Your stop loss is as close to your position as possible so that you can close in a small loss if necessary. And typically the safest entry point, which frequently assists in capturing enormous profits from one project or another, is the initial correction on the 1 minute time frame. And as a rule, this correction should be from 50% to 70%. In this case, if you, for example, buy at a 60% correction, you will have a colossal advantage because your position will be very close to the initial purchases. Usually among them are snipers and of course developers. In order to demonstrate to you the significance of the entry point, I will now clearly show you, using the example of the Chumps token, how important it is. By the way, I mentioned him at an early stage when he was just starting to trade in his Telegram channel. And from these entry points, it generated a massive profit. It was already approximately 40 times, if I am not mistaken. In general, let's look at the chart together and understand why it's important to choose a favorable entry point. Look, I indicated the correction at around 60%, possibly even 70%, using a green line. Look, yes, a 69 to 70% correction. I marked the correction around 33% with the blue line, yes. So imagine what would have happened if you bought at the blue line. Yes, at approximately these values and on the green one. So I grabbed a couple of rulers and let's give it a tug. Look, when we have profit along the blue line, let's take a closer look and see what we find. 170%. Then from the green line, this profit would already be 580%. So here it wouldn't even be 3x, but here it would already be more than 6x. And as the token grows, these numbers will change dramatically, indicating that the profit will increase significantly, and naturally the profit will be greater if you purchased during a deeper correction. Note, let's take for example this peak. Here from the blue line, from a 30% correction it would be 850%, while from the green line we would get around 2000%. So in this location it's approximately 20 times 21, and in this other location it's only 9. Additionally, as the token expands, these numbers will once more experience exponential growth. For example, right now the token is trading around 0.045. Let's just roughly stick to these values. And we will measure from these values. That is, what crazy numbers? That is, here it is only 14 times, and here it is over 33 times. That is why the entry point is extremely important. So it is better to wait a little until the token drops, and corrections almost always happen. That is, the token either immediately skyrockets and then after some time gives a correction, and usually if it has already flown far, there will be no corrections, it will just roll back, which is why patience is key in these situations. Either it will undergo certain local growth and still provide a quick and convenient entry point, which will then be the safest and most favorable purchase option that is currently available. What is the reason for opting for a more secure purchase at a 70% correction? It is important to pay attention to the green line, as this is where we can set a safe stop. So we can establish a stop, for instance, at 50%, and as a result we will either recoup, for example, our 3x if you establish a take profit, for example, at 3x, or you will incur a loss of 50% of the position. If you had set such a stop at 30%, you would have simply been stopped out here, closed at a loss, while the token would have continued to rise, and then you would have experienced FOMO. Therefore, if you trade using a strategy with take profits and stop losses, it is crucial to carefully select a safe entry point to avoid getting stopped out. So, it is important to ensure that you take this advice to heart, keep it in mind, Do not make purchases at high points, avoid greed, act wisely, and consider buying during market corrections or dips. After finding a project, analyzing it, confirming it's not a scam, picking an entry point during a correction, it's crucial to determine if it's a genuine correction or the token's downfall, meaning the dump is occurring and entering now is nonsensical. How do you comprehend this? In simple words, you must examine triggers, that is, what causes are there for a reversal, for price increase. This must be done based on analyzing the actions of developers. It's important for you to monitor what the project developer is doing, what updates are being made. Let's talk about the positive factors that can confidently prompt buying during a market correction. First and foremost, it is crucial for us that the developer is actively engaged, preferably responsive to community inquiries and actively involved in marketing efforts during periods of economic decline. If you see that there is a buzz around the project, meaning there is advertising when it is in a slump, especially if it's paid advertising, then most likely the developer is not planning to abandon it yet, they haven't made their money yet, and there will probably be some local growth now. We can also monitor the developer's transactions, that is, which transactions are being made from the wallet. It turns out from the owner's wallet. If we see that large payments are being made, we can even predict in advance that some major influencer will now advertise. I will probably tell you about this a little later on my YouTube channel as well. Let's make a separate video, so subscribe not to miss it. In general, in short, it is important for us to understand that the developer spends money during a downturn in order to do marketing. For instance, positive triggers will also be buybacks. That is, the owner purchases tokens and sends them to a dead address, meaning performs a burn. This is also a positive criterion. Another important criterion may be assessing the initial holders. To grasp early holders' actions, we must know if they retain positions or already sold tokens. Understanding this is crucial to us. Why? Because frequently the initial holders are insiders. There might also exist developer wallets, and there could be sniper bots that possess certain, most probably, information. So often analyzing the early holders also helps us understand what will happen next in general. So if the initial holders have exited, there is a high probability that among them were also admins, insiders, influencers, and most likely there will be a dump now. Accordingly, we need to be very careful and probably better to avoid this token. Also, we can monitor transactions during a dip, understand who is causing this correction, who is creating the dip, if it's created by developers, if there are any strange transactions, and we see all this through sales. On the DEX screen platform, for example, and with DEX tool, we can analyze every transaction, identify the sellers. If we see, for example, wallets being sold that have not purchased tokens, most likely these are airdrop wallets, meaning developers simply sent tokens to them and are now selling them disguised as regular holders. However, we are not foolish, we comprehend that this could encompass administrators as well. To comprehend the correction's cause, it's crucial to grasp who is selling. If regular holders who purchased during a local rise are selling at a loss, and we observe no peculiar sell-offs indicating admins are selling, this also conveys a positive signal. It informs us that admins probably have not yet generated profits, thus implying there is likely to be a subsequent reversal and subsequent growth in token price. Look, I'm giving you lots of info now. As I mentioned, there's lots of info on my YouTube channel. At some point, I will definitely create additional videos and incorporate them, so please do not be worried if something is not clear. We also have a chat in our Telegram channel. You can join, ask questions, and I will frequently answer there, or the guys with experience will also provide assistance. That was a short intermission. Let's proceed. Next, once you comprehend that it is not a dump but rather a correction, and you observe positive triggers for a reversal, for price increase, you must adeptly purchase the token. See what I mean? It is advisable to purchase tokens not via a decentralized exchange, but instead to acquire tokens and sell them, generally trade them through specialized bots designed specifically for this purpose. They are also called sniper bots. The most popular service that I recommend to all of you is MaestroBot. It provides the capability to place limit buy orders, as well as limit sell orders, and set take profit, stop loss, and other related parameters for trading purposes. I also possess a video regarding MaestroBot in the channel. Make sure to check it out, because if you want to trade DeFi tokens successfully, you will have to compete with other market participants, most of whom use bots, and therefore their purchases and sales happen much faster without errors. In order for your transactions not to fail, for you to be able to promptly sell and buy where needed, you definitely need to master this tool. It is crucial for ensuring successful trading and avoiding missed opportunities in the fast-paced world of DeFi. Without sniper robots, you will not get very far in this place. Naturally, an essential aspect following all the things we have talked about is also the adherence to risk management. In other words, no matter how cool a particular token may seem to you, no matter how positively you think of it, if you do not follow risk management, you will soon lose your deposit. Look, allow me to elaborate on what I mean by risk management. In basic terms, it is the specific amount of funds that you allocate as a deposit when initiating a trade. Trading DeFi tokens inherently involves exceedingly high risks, so initially I highly recommend trading on paper, meaning not using real money, because it is crucial to gain experience and familiarize oneself with the volatile nature of the market. And only subsequent to observing a positive trend on paper, you have the ability to gradually commence trading with actual money. So how do you do this correctly? Look, split the deposit, allocate it for trading into 10 or even better 20 parts. The more, the safer. In other words, if your deposit, for example, is $2,000, then entering one token, meaning the entry amount for one trade, should not exceed $100, $200. Thus, you will have a total of 10 to 20 attempts in order to prevent the loss of your deposit. So you must make a total of 20 consecutive losing trades in order to break even. Even in theory, this is an incredibly challenging task to accomplish, so your deposit will be relatively safe, even if you are still a novice trader. Accordingly, you'll have enough attempts and the chance of losing your deposit decreases significantly if you enter, for example, not with $100, $200, but with $500, which is a quarter of the deposit. So, after 4 trades and no money left, you disappointingly leave this market. Hence, it's crucial to practice risk management, set aside a deposit, split it into 10, 20 portions, and only begin trading with actual funds after testing the waters with simulated trades to ensure positive dynamics and a solid grasp of the trading process. That is not all yet. I hope you have not gotten bored. The next important step towards successful trading in decentralized finance is precisely developing your own strategy, and it is important to stick to this strategy. I will say right away, 99% of individuals who enter this market and commence trading in a chaotic manner without any strategy pursue extraordinary gains, attempting to capture skyrocketing prices. Most likely, such chaotic trading will only lead you to losing your deposit. I can tell you with a 99% probability that you will simply lose your deposit and leave this market if you don't have a strategy. What do I mean by strategies? Initially, when you have already finished all these points that we talked about earlier and are ready to enter a trade, it's important for you to understand when you enter a trade, when you will exit it. That is, under what conditions and at what points. In simple terms, it's important for you to understand where you will take profits or where, in case of need, you will, for example, take a small loss and close out with a stop. For instance, I trade in a conservative manner and do not pursue extremely high returns, and I suggest that you adopt a similar approach. Suggest close position at 2x, 3x, that is, set take profit at 2, 3x equals 100 to 200%. And I recommend setting the stop loss at around 50% so that if the trade goes in the wrong direction, you don't lose all your money. As I mentioned previously, the safest point of entry is the first correction on the minute time frame, which typically occurs around 50-70%. In this scenario, your stop loss will be highly secure due to the fact that the majority of projects do not undergo a substantial drawdown, especially the ones with good potential. Consequently, the likelihood of achieving a 2-3x return on your investment with such a correction is exceedingly high. It is also worth understanding that sometimes it simply does not make any sense to exit at a stop. For instance, in the Ethereum network, fees are often above $20, above $30. So if you, for example, entered a trade with $50, set a take profit at 3x, and placed a stop at 50%, if you close at the stop, you will simply pay for the transaction as much as your amount is at the moment of drawdown. So fixing, for example, at a $50 stop in the Ethereum network often does not make any sense and may result in unnecessary costs. So if you have a small deposit, for example, you can do it this way. For example, set a take profit at 3x and enter without a stop loss. Thus, you will have a risk to reward ratio of 2 to 1, indicating that one successful trade is sufficient to offset the losses from 2 unsuccessful trades. And in principle, this is a relatively safe strategy. The higher this ratio is, for example, if you trade with a 3-to-1 ratio, the safer your trading will be in the long run. Many people might wonder, how do you catch those rockets that soar to 50, 100 times and more? Look, it is simple here. It is just enough to leave a small tail of your position, to sensibly leave a tail if you enter a trade for at least $200, $300 and more. Because if you entered with $50 and the token showed 100x there, you took the main part at 3x, well, as there won't be a very large amount for fixing, yes, from the point of view of commission, again, it may not be very profitable, but if you already left a tail of $500, for example, around 10-20%, and this token then flew to 50 at 100x, it will already be very noticeable. That's why my recommendation is, yes, to avoid experiencing FOMO later on. If you're afraid of missing out on the rocket, just leave a small tail. And of course, another very important aspect for your trading to be highly profitable in the long run, for you to be able to work on your mistakes and analyze your trading in general, it is crucial to maintain a comprehensive record of all your transactions. You can keep statistics in any convenient way. For example, you can create a table in Excel, or for instance, keep a table on paper, write everything down manually, whichever way is more convenient for you. So why is this done? So that you can assess all of your trades, comprehend why you, for instance, incurred a specific amount of loss, or why you realized a profit from your trading activities. In other words, identifying the pros, cons, analyzing mistakes, drawing conclusions, and then increasing your win rate. It's vital to do this because if you trade actively, you amass numerous transactions. And of course, you can't keep tabs on everything without statistics. Therefore, it is extremely important to keep track of your transactions. Without it, you won't get far. Well, I hope this video was helpful for you, even though I talked a lot and showed little, but again, I just don't want to repeat myself. I don't want the video to be too long. You can find a lot of useful information on my YouTube channel, as well as in the Telegram channel. I regularly share deals, regularly share useful tools, so don't forget to subscribe, link below the video. I would also appreciate any support. You have the option to like the video or kindly write a comment if you found the information to be helpful. And we're not saying goodbye overall. In the near future, I will also be posting and sharing useful material with you specifically on trading DeFi and in general on crypto. Yes, we'll provide a lot of useful content. So subscribe to my YouTube and we're not saying goodbye. See you soon.